Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, February 15th. I'm Jeff here with my friends, Stephanie and Erica. And before we get started, I want to wish you a happy birthday, belated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It was your birthday yesterday on Valentine's Day. You do anything special? You look very Valentine.
Oh,
you look the part.
I had to, do a little red velvet action. Yeah, we did. My mom actually threw me this virtual sip and smudge party on Friday, and Steph was there.
It was amazing.
It was on Zoom, and she had my mom contacted a bunch of my friends, and it was this women's empowerment thing, and it was very cool. I cried the whole time, but I
can confirm she did cry the entire time.
Did you? The real question is, and I wish we had a picture. Did you use that disco ball?
Yes.
I wish.
Oh my gosh, that disco ball. So my husband got me a disco ball because he asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I kept telling him I don't need anything, and then he decided to make me a karaoke studio in the basement.
Oh my God.
Because I miss karaoke so much. So yes, I have been singing and dancing all around the basement.
I can't wait to come over and crush a karaoke song with that disco light on. But happy birthday, Erica.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to some stories because there's a big blow up in Bachelor Nation. Chris Harrison, the longtime host of The Bachelor, announced he's stepping aside from the show, including moderating the upcoming After the Final Rose ceremony. It's all over comments he made defending a contestant, Rachel Kirkconnell. She is one of the women vying for Bachelor Matt James this season, and the controversy stems from photos like these of Rachel attending an antebellum plantation-themed ball for her sorority in 2018. She did apologize for the photos, saying they are offensive and racist, and here's what Chris said on Extra that caused the backlash.
I saw a picture of her at a sorority party 5 years ago.
and that's it.
The picture was from 2018 at an Old South antebellum party. So I think, you know, when you
hold that under the lens,
it's not a good look.
No, it's not a good. Well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
It's
because
not
there's a big
good
difference.
look ever.
Chris had previously apologized for those comments, but many felt it wasn't enough, which has a lot of folks asking, what are the consequences for Chris Harrison for something like this? Should he be fired, suspended, face no consequences since he apologized? I'm going to throw this one to you guys. Where do you guys stand on this?
You know, I don't know what the consequences should be, but I do want to really unpack this for people who aren't understanding why he's received so much backlash. He was doing an interview with Rachel Lindsay, who just happens to be the first Black Bachelorette. After Rachel's season, she has really put herself out there advocating for more diversity, equity, and equality in Bachelor Nation and the network. So the idea that Chris Harrison would go on and have a conversation with her where he's seemingly defending very racist and problematic behavior was tone deaf, and it was actually an insult to someone who has been a part of this Bachelor Nation community. So for him to talk about, is it a good look or a bad, you know, I understand there's a conversation to be had about woke police or whatever people want to call it, but was this really the hill that he wanted to die on, basically defending someone, but also at the same time offending someone that he should be looking out for?
Yeah, I thought she handled it good. Like, I thought the conversation was good. She was pointing out what was wrong with it in a very calm manner. So I did appreciate that the conversation took place. I'm not trying to defend what Chris Harrison was defending, but I do appreciate the conversation, the back and forth of it all.
Absolutely, and I think she did a fantastic job, and I think he picked the wrong interview to express those particular views. And I think, you know, it just shows how uneducated he is, to be honest. I found it quite embarrassing watching that and how he was defending the contestant. I mean, I don't know if it's, I just feel like there's times like this where people need to have uncomfortable conversations, and if you're not sure, ask and try and learn. Why are people upset? If people are giving that much backlash, there's a reason. Like, educate yourself, especially before you go and talk to one of the first female Black bachelorettes. Like, what? To me, it's just very confusing, and at times like that, I think, where are your team? Like, who's around you?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? Or are you just so, I guess, privileged and think you're so high that you don't need to have those conversations?
I think it's a total disconnect.
Yeah.
It really is. And just the idea that he was attempting to have this conversation in order to call out people playing judge and jury. This was not the place to conflate these issues, and that was a serious misstep for, quite frankly, no real reason at all. Like, what was the purpose behind that?
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying, because as host, and I would guess he's executive producer, I'm not sure, I guess he has a lot to do behind the scenes. So you got to protect your contestants, right? But you're also being interviewed by another contestant, right? So it's like you have to pick your battles. He misstepped. He's stepping down. I don't know if this means forever, but he is stepping away for right now. So we'll see what happens with him. Let's move on to Kellyanne Conway's daughter, Claudia, because she made her debut on American Idol last night. During her audition, Claudia talked about the family drama between she and her parents that's been playing out on social media. I'm glad she addressed it. Her father, George, was there for support and even got emotional when talking about his daughter's dream to be a singer. And Kellyanne gave her daughter a virtual pep talk right before facing the judges. During the audition, Katy Perry stopped Claudia from singing her first song and then asked for her to sing another song. So she switched to Adele's When We Were Young. Let's take a listen.
You look like a movie. You sound like a song. My God, this reminds me of when we were young.
So afterwards, Katy had some advice for Claudia. Have a look at that.
You have to calm the storm that is around you. Meaning, before you sing, you need to get off your phone. You need to stop reading your comments. Push it aside. Because if not, you may not ever rise above your dad or your mom.
I thought that was great advice. It wasn't unanimous, but Claudia got her golden ticket and is going to Hollywood for the next round. Listen, this girl's 16 years old. I think she handled this very well. She addressed the elephant in the room, and she went on and did her thing. Nervously, but went on and did her thing. So I was a little against American Idol kind of doing this story and kind of, I don't know, what's the word, nepotism? Is that the right word that I'm looking for in there?
Well,
that's not right.
No, because
you know what I'm talking about. I don't know the right. What's nepotism? When you're famous and then your kid's famous too.
You help your
yeah. So
family
wrong word, but regardless, she was getting through because of her parents. I'm glad she's kind of carving her own path. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
No, you're not with me.
Erica's really hesitant.
You know, I mean, I've said this before. Like, I don't put things on her. She is a child. She's 16. Okay. I didn't feel like her talent was on par with the other contestants who had made it through, and I think that if it weren't for this story, she likely wouldn't have made it through. So is it worth exploiting a very delicate situation right now to have her continue on the show just for ratings is what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I was a fan of the show. I didn't watch this season, but a lot of people get through based on their story, right? Not just Claudia, but a lot of people, when you see their story and it's so compelling, they get through to the next round as well.
I thought she did well. I mean, she can sing a lot better than I can, and I think, if anything, because like you said, she's only 16, I think if she doesn't progress or, you know, continue to get better, then absolutely she should be gone. And I think, you know, if anything, she has got a wonderful platform. Let's be honest, a lot of people get hired for their jobs based on their social media following rather than their talent these days. It's sad, but it's true. It doesn't make it right. So if this genuinely is her dream and she's a young girl and she's trying to carve a path, her voice probably isn't going to be as developed as it could be. But, you know, let's see. Erica's like, no.
Erica's like, no. Well, she's going to Hollywood regardless.
Yes.
Erica wishes her well. She loves her.
I do. I honestly wish her well. I'm not coming for a 16-year-old, okay?
Nobody is. That's exactly right. Coming up on DBL, our favorite nighttime soap stars from the 80s, starting with TV icon Patrick Duffy. What's the Dallas star up to now? He's chatting with DBL for the first time. That's next. Welcome back to DBL. Our favorite 80s nighttime soap stars brought all the drama. And all this week, we're chatting with them to reminisce and ask, where are they now? First up, Patrick Duffy, a.k.a. Bobby Ewing from Dallas. Sam caught up with him earlier. Let's take a look.
Patrick Duffy, welcome to DBL. Okay, so I have to tell you, I loved watching you on Bold and the Beautiful, but we're not going to talk about my favorite show. We're going to Yeah, we're going to talk about America's favorite show, Dallas. In fact, our viewers would kill me if I just made it all about Bold and the Beautiful. So the reason why Dallas, obviously, such a big hit, but what I loved about it and what many families can attest to, that it really was, yes you, Patrick, but also the invention of appointment television. I mean, millions of people stayed home every Friday night to tune in. So what was it like being launched into that kind of fame? The whole world knew you.
Well, it was, we can only look at it now in retrospect, and we have all of this technology now that we didn't have when we premiered in what was it, 78, I think. We were pushed into a huge ratings reality that just seemed a normal step up in terms of hit shows. And once we realized we were hit shows, we had Larry Hagman, who was recognized worldwide, and he really set the stage of, this is just normal, everybody, so get used to it. And now we realize just how important it was that the entire viewing world would stop what they're doing on a specific time at a specific night and just stay glued to the television, and then couldn't do anything about it for 7 more days.
Your dirty deals might just get somebody killed one of these days.
I'm sure everybody always asks you what's the best part about being or playing, Bobby Ewing, and I want to know that answer, but what was the worst part? Was there a downside?
In the very beginning, there was a downside. The show became all about good versus evil, etc., on various levels, of course. And I was always the good guy, which I really enjoyed doing. But that's a hard character to write for in a very interesting and attention-captivating way. It was great to write for JR or Sue Ellen guzzling down her booze, or right. Little Lucy sleeping with everybody but the family, tractor. To this day, I don't wake up or go to sleep not being grateful that Dallas existed in my life.
Wow. Listen, it's so nice to hear the gratitude, considering what a gift it was. A gift. Now, when you were in it, though, what was the best part of playing Bobby? Was it just the rock star status? What was it?
It's having your name on a parking place right in front of the stage door.
That sounds like a dream. Okay, so let's talk about season 9 of Dallas, because that was AKA the dream year. Your character returned to the show right in that famous shower scene after the whole world thought that you had died. So I gotta know, what did you really think of that plot twist?
Well, I've had to defend it, obviously. Our audience, our rabid, devoted fans, devoted an entire year emotionally to what they thought was the new incarnation of Dallas, and to then find out that none of it counted. I understood their frustration. So Larry called me, and I picked up a message. His voice was on there, and he just said, "Patrick, Larry, come out to Malibu, let's get drunk, I want to talk to you." And that's how that basically, the only part that surprised me was that he wanted to talk to me. And I turned to my wife and I said, they're going to ask me back on the show. Wow. And I just knew it instinctually. And her immediate reaction was, well, there's no way they can do that unless the whole last year was a dream. Wow. And that she did not give them the idea, but Leonard Katzman had the same idea, and he then told me when I went to have a meeting with him. But that was the only way to erase, without getting into a huge half a year of solving that problem, getting rid of that character, et cetera, et cetera. At that moment, we went right back to what the story plot line was the day that Bobby died, and he just didn't die then. And that was the whole thing.
Wow. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll chat with Patrick about his real-life love story. You won't believe which fellow TV star he started dating during COVID. Stay with us.
We on.
Welcome back to DBL. We're continuing our talk with Dallas star Patrick Duffy. Earlier, Sam caught up with him to ask him about his two loves of his life. It's a story that'll make you weak in the knees.
So you spent 43 years with your beautiful wife before her passing just a couple of years ago. To be
actually 45, just so you know.
45.
We lived together for 2 years prior to getting married, but we both always considered that 2 years of marriage.
I mean, to be in love for over 4 decades, especially in Hollywood, please share your secret. We all want to learn from you.
It sounds cliche, but it's not, because there's no other way I can explain it. Let's put it this way. As a college graduate, 2 years out of school when I met her, I might not have drawn up that particular list of attributes that she had, because I didn't know what I wanted until I saw it. It was instant, and then we both realized, well, this is going to happen, so let's make it happen right. And for 45 years, we worked very hard to make sure that first initial attraction, where everything goes, your skin crawls, that it lasted. And it did for 45 years, to the very last day of her life. 4 years ago, since she passed, and I am now in the most wonderful, finally, for a second time, a beautiful relationship with a wonderful woman.
I know, and in fact, I wanted to, just congratulate on your relationship with Linda Pearl, and of course, our viewers right now know her as Fonzie's girlfriend from Happy Days, right? We all adore her.
I tell you something, beef stroganoff, this is my favorite. Oh. You have any ketchup?
And I'm just so happy that you were able to find love again. And yeah, so special. How did your relationship develop, though, during a global pandemic? I can't even imagine how that must have been.
Well, it's almost, I have to tell people, and I say, please, I understand that everybody suffers in this pandemic, but had it not been for the pandemic, I'm not sure I would be here now. I turned down doing a series with her in 1978. She was going to do a series called The Young Pioneers, and I got offered the script to play her husband. And for some strange reason, I turned it down and took this shot in the dark with a show called Dallas.
Mama, contesting Daddy's will, that's a drastic step.
And the rest is my television history until about a year ago at one of these celebrity auction signing things that goes on. Linda Pearl comes up and we relive that moment of, oh, you turned down my show, I turned down your show and everything. It's somewhere in the back of my mind, I went, this is a very interesting woman, but nothing happened. I got a film in Canada, went to Canada in March. It was shut down before we started. I flew back to my home in Oregon we started texting again, and it became once a week, and it became a couple of times a week. And then we thought, well, you want to do FaceTime? We got to know each other so well. And I was in Oregon, she lives in Colorado Springs. And at one point, I just thought, well, it's either now or never. I got to figure out if this is real or not. I jumped in the car and drove 23 hours and ended up at her doorstep, and I haven't left.
Oh my gosh, Patrick.
Yeah.
That is the story.
We had never hugged or anything. What? Obviously, there was a commitment because I was there, but we didn't know what to do. And I finally said, may I kiss you?
Stop it.
And that's it.
I can't. This is a Hallmark movie. I feel like you just read me a script, and I love myself some Hallmark movies. In fact, you guys are so close. Our studio here is here in Colorado. After the pandemic, I would love, we need to get you both on the show after the pandemic, right here in studio. We're in Denver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful story. Thank you so much, Patrick, for taking the time and for just letting us into your world. I love how transparent you are. It just goes to show why so many people absolutely adore you. And we'll be right back. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Okay. You're welcome.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. We have to give a big shout out to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The couple announced yesterday on Valentine's Day they're overjoyed to be expecting a second child, saying Archie's going to be a big brother. The Queen congratulated them, saying the entire family is delighted. Was that good, Steph? And wish them well.
Yeah.
It sounded exactly like her. And get this, the announcement comes on the 37th anniversary of when Harry's mother, Princess Diana, announced she was pregnant with him on Valentine's Day in 1984. They waited till your birthday, E, to let this go.
Yeah, they waited. It was specifically for my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. That's right. That's right. Let's end that up. I was going to say who we really care about, but good story from
It
the
all
Queen.
comes full circle. It's very nice.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.